Welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. Oh my gosh, this is one of the few times that I have not made a mistake. I'm so proud of myself. Look at me, not making a mistake on my own show. I read it perfectly, and that's it. That's all I need to do. Welcome back in. This is episode, you see that 0.5 at the end of that title? You see a name? You see the word episode. Let me point out what you see. You probably see episode. Then you see a number. Then you see a 0.5 at the end of that number, which is also part of the number. Then you see a hyphen. And then after that, you see a name, a proper noun. I had a chance to sit down with the lovely Emily Markoe. She is a comedian, I believe, based over there in Hollyweird. She's performed. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. What character I'm doing right now. She is performed a new solo show. It's not new. It's been around for a little bit, but it's now there's going to be this new performance over there in New York. Emily Markoe is performing My Little Phobia for a one-night-only event at Caveat on Monday, May 18th. I'll give you the time later. You have to listen to the end of this, the intro part, the most boring part of the episode. The show explores Emily's life with emetophobia, or emetophobia. We get into the whole pronunciation of thing, which is a fear of vomit. Debilitating fear of vomit. Extreme as well. The show explores the hilarious, relatable, and vulnerable reality of living with emetophobia and OCD through character, storytelling, and physical comedy. The show is going to involve the following. It's going to be interrupted by obsessive compulsive rituals, resurfaced memories, and an uninvited visit from her childhood therapist, Dr. My Little Pony. Copyright. The show also features music from her husband, and it is, what else can I talk about? The director is Julie Pearson, who's known for work on The Girls on the Bus on HBO Max. That was a good show. I wish it lasted longer. Emily did this show at Hollywood Fringe and Edinburgh Fringe. I'm always so concerned about. I couldn't find a place to pronounce emetophobia, and we're just gonna land on that. But people say Edinburgh and Edinburgh, so I just say Fringe. I don't want to seem stupid, like a dumb American. Happy 250, America. Anyway, Emily and I had a great conversation involving this emetophobia, how she wrote the show, how she turned something that is quite serious on the outset and how it has affected her life, like truly, and she turned that into something funny. We also covered clowning, as you can see in the description, and I will leave it at that. If you don't know what clowning is, oh, you're in for a treat. And she's also done opera. It's a trick of the trade. Anyway, Emily Markoe, she's talented. If you want to see the things that she's done or follow her around online, go to emilymarkoe.com, where you can get a little summary of My Little Phobia and her bio and a bunch of other stuff. You can follow her on Instagram at Find Emily Here and buy tickets to My Little Phobia. You still have time for the show. She also, again, does clowning, and I don't know if she still does improv. Oh, excuse me, not improv. I'm sorry. I don't know if she still does opera, but she does improv. So there you go. Clowning is part of the improv thing, but it's also written partially and stuff like that. Anyway, check it out. If you want to watch a video version of this interview, go to youtube.com/C plus comedy, where you can see all of the other video interviews that I've done, as well as video versions of this show and video versions of, I forgot what I was doing, of the other shows. Late Night Lately, the late night show that has a monologue. I write jokes for it, so go check that out. And if not anything, just the first 3 minutes. and and LinkedIn Logs, the jobs and business news podcast. Go to cpluscomedy.com for everything else C Plus Comedy. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. I'm talking Apple. I'm talking Spotify. I'm talking Pocket Casts, YouTube Music, the rest. Okay, follow us on social media at C Plus Comedy on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening. And now, check out the clown and the phobia that is Emily Markoe.
I'm doing well. Sorry I was like a couple minutes late here.
You're completely fine. I always hold off for 1 minute to make myself not seem so desperate. And then
Oh no.
and
I'm
then
sorry I jumped the gun, or I was the opposite then. You had to wait for me.
no, you're no. See, you made me seem more desperate, which means like now I'm just like this interview. I'm going to be spending the entire time trying to talk and impress you. So there's usually it's the other way around.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna hide my view so that I don't look at myself. That's me. I hate that.
That you don't like looking at. I love looking at myself. Well, actually, I never get a chance to because I go. Here's a trick of the trade. I've been doing this for 13 years.
Uh-huh.
I go from camera, and then when you start talking, I look at you in the video feed, and I go to camera and then look at you. It's
Uh-huh.
amazing. It's fantastic.
That's good. I gotta work on that.
Well, yeah, you're welcome. Whenever someone else emails you and says, "Please, can I talk to you about your comedy show?" Then you'll know what to do.
Yeah, perfect. Thank goodness.
Well, thank you for sitting down with me, and congratulations on this show. I know you have like what 12 days. It's May 18th to put it out or to do it.
I'm in denial about how close that is. Yes, I guess that's right. Yeah, it's May 18th.
Wow,
So coming up sooner than later.
that's amazing. I was looking at there's a post you have on your Instagram where it has like a review and of the I assume what was that at the Fringe Festival.
Yeah, at Edinburgh probably. Yeah.
Okay. It's amazing how many people you can speak to and how your show can, which I only know it's about this phobia you have, this vomiting phobia you have, but
Mhm.
man, it's amazing how something so niche can speak to people and people can enjoy it and it can be funny or endearing or interesting. And I'm just amazed at how did you approach writing this show and what's it all about? What's in it?
Oh, good questions. Thanks for calling that out, actually. In my pre-show prepping, I'm forgetting that people like it and like like you get kind of like caught up in the trying to post enough and like get enough ticket sales and stuff that you forget that like there's an impact, which is nice. So thanks for reminding me of that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Um, yeah, I was actually really pleased with a lot of that feedback to your point. Like I have this very niche phobia, which is technically kind of the under the umbrella of OCD, which I know gets a lot of like, or at least on my feed, gets a lot of a lot of attention these days. But there's a lot more to it than I think like media generally portrays
Mhm.
uh as like a thing to live with. So I think I went into writing it honestly, like this is gonna sound maybe kind of selfish, but I was like, just kind of like, this is a story that I want to tell. Like, I just kind of want to like tell people what it's like inside my brain, like as if that matters to other
Yeah.
people. But that was kind of the approach is like, I think initially I envisioned it as I was writing it as like just a peek in my brain for people who don't have the same phobia as me,
Hmm.
or have a phobia or have OCD, just anybody who maybe you would consider like typical in that way. Um, and yeah, like what ended up happening was that a lot of people identified with it in a lot of different ways, which was really cool because on the one hand, it was like, wow, this is amazing as an artist to like feel like you're reaching people in a new way. And on the flip side, it's comforting because I'm like, okay, so I'm not the only one who's like spinning out about
Right.
being an atom in the universe or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think you had another part of the question, and I'm probably forgetting to answer
No,
it.
no, it's just like how Nisha was, and then reaching out to write about it and everything. I
Yeah.
not to bring this back on me, but I have I guess maybe a very mild condition of germophobia,
Oh, sure.
and it's very workable. I can do it. I can live my life on a daily basis, but there's very small things. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably a 6, which is high that I say it out loud, but in my head I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a 6. I'm not as bad as Howie Mandel,
Could be
but
worse.
it's like the smaller things that I do. Like if I go to a coffee shop, I went to a coffee shop this past Monday, and I I it's very very small things, and that like I would go when they say, oh, the coffee lids are over there. Go get it, and I pick up a coffee lid. Instead of picking the top ones, I always go for one in the middle because I've seen people literally at the gym just coughing on weights. I don't want to touch
Yeah.
that weight if you cough on it. I don't want to touch a coffee lid after you touched it or anything. I open
Mhm.
doors with my fists. I use my pinky if I have to pull. It's small things like that, but they do
Mhm.
build up and they are real as much as people want to pretend that hearing someone eat isn't disgusting or you can enjoy it. Hey, if that's your flavor of thing, then go ahead and do it.
Totally.
Or being afraid of spiders or something. It's all
Totally.
something to somebody, and it could all be serious or it could not be serious. But we just have to
Yeah.
at least acknowledge it.
Yeah, totally. I think this is where it verges on me having had a lot of therapy about this, but not being a professional. But I think that for me, like the turning point is how much it's affecting your life.
Hmm.
Not only in like the actions you're taking, like I too go for like the third or fourth coffee holder. And then I'm always like, oh no, now I'm the person who touched the coffee holder. You know what I mean? Like now I'm doing it to someone else. Um, but so I those are the kinds of things, by the way, which like on a day-to-day basis, and like, is this, they say not to use the word normal, but there is a question of like, is this something like a typical person would do, or is this not, you know?
Right.
Um, but it's like if it's having, and this is a personal decision really, like if it's having like a deeply negative impact on your life overall, then like it's something to consider talking to someone about. And for me, that moment was actually when I um decided to like cancel a trip because I was too afraid to get on a plane because I thought either the plane is going to explode, obviously, or I'll throw up. And
Hmm.
even with my most like deepest fear being vomit, I was like, that doesn't sound normal. Like I probably like, just getting on a plane, like, which I've done a lot of times, like I shouldn't just be like not going on this vacation that I planned just because I'm afraid of throwing up on the plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway.
What's interesting is when I Googled the name of the phobia, the
Mhm.
first that popped up was a .gov link, and I went, "Oh, this thing's real. This is like this is a serious thing." I went, "Excuse me." I had to dust off the gold keyboard, and I was like, "Let
I
me
didn't
get
know
a
we
little
were
read about
federally
this."
recognized.
I
That's
couldn't find a place to pronounce it. Usually when you Google those things, the Google will say, "Hey, this is
yeah.
how you pronounce it." But I could not find a place how to pronounce it. So that
Honest,
that settles how big of a thing it is.
totally. It's actually funny, like to be honest, I am like, am I pronouncing it right? I say emetophobia.
Okay. All
Um,
right.
but I've heard people say like emetophobia and stuff like that, so I'm not really
Hmm.
sure.
I
Yeah.
think that was a very popular song back when standards, when standards were big. You say
Huh.
emetophobia, I say
Oh,
emetophobia.
yeah, we we should make a parody of that. That's perfect. It's very
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah, it'll be huge on TikTok. Yeah,
Oh, that
I saw a headline today on New York Times or something that said, TikTok just discovered what Taibo was, and I went, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
New York Times, where did, sorry, not to speak disparagingly, love them, but like I think it's charming when they when they write articles 2 years later.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad my money's going somewhere. They had a really good quarter. They added like 300,000 subscribers. Anyway, I follow business news too, which is a very true thing. So when you were writing the show, when did it become funny to you? When because I don't know how I have not seen a clip and I have not read a script, but you are a comedian person, a comedic style person. So I can only
Mhm.
assume that there are jokes in there. So when did it become a funny thing for you to write about? And how did you, and what were like some of the first jokes that you wrote for it? I understand first drafts change over the course of the show. The first thing you wrote for this is going to be different than what you shoot on May 18th. But
Mhm.
what was that? How did you make it funny? I guess that's the question. How did you
Yeah,
decide to make it haha?
I love that question because this all came from so I've had this phobia for literally as long as I can remember. I think my earliest memories are around
Wow.
this, which does appear in the show, like that comes up in the show. Um and like not a day goes by that I don't think about like how to avoid vomiting or people vomiting around me. Like
Hmm.
unfortunately, even after years of therapy, that's still true. So to me, as a comedic person, as somebody who is doing a lot of improv, sketch, clowning, that kind of a thing, like I, for whatever reason, had this like totally locked up tight inside of me and had never taken that angle on it before, ever, ever.
Mm.
Um, which it's so funny when that happens because it's like I think of myself as like an open book. I lay it all out there. Doing improv, I'll say whatever I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like who knows? And but for some reason, this was like so locked behind a cabinet. I had not even like conceived of making jokes out of this.
Wow.
Um, and what happened was a friend a few years ago has a show called Sad Funny in LA, a monthly show that literally the theme is like sad stuff that's funny. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
example, I've seen people do bits about like a dead parent or what have you. She was looking for somebody for that month and she was like, "Hey, do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I don't have anything. I don't have anything sad to talk about." Um, and then I sat on it for that month. I didn't do the show. And then, like, literally out of the blue, I was like, "Oh, I am struggling with a mental illness so bad that I literally think about it every single day." Like, and I did the show. And what I did was I literally just listed out I did a list of things that I'm afraid of
Okay.
because of the phobia. And then I did a list of things I've done to avoid vomiting in my life. For example, I once um I once got out of a moving car that I was driving without putting it in park because somebody started throwing up in the car.
Oh God.
Um,
Were you an Uber driver and you were driving home some teens, some partying teens?
It was in college and a friend had just gotten it was like the morning after a party and I was like,
Wow.
oh, by the way, I like didn't talk to her for 6 months after this either. So mad. But like I'm the one who's mad at her, not her mad at
Yeah.
me for like crashing. I mean, the car was fine, but like it could have been a lot worse. But yeah, so those are the kinds of things that I would like. I'm reading to this crowd of people, and it's just like the straight truth. But I know it's funny, and they're laughing, and I'm like, okay, I've got something here. So that was really like the seed of everything. And then I started being able to, for the first time ever, take that like comedic angle on something that again was like so close to the chest that I just like didn't even think about it before. And that has kind of cracked it open for me because I'm like, oh yeah, these things that I do are actually like really, can I curse on here?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Really fucking funny. Like,
All right, I want to cut that later, please.
no. Yeah, so I'm trying to think like I think the first thing I ended up writing was one of my favorite parts of the show actually, and it's the opener, it's the beginning, so I feel like I can just share it without spoiling too much, but I do an in memoriam of everybody who's dead to me because they threw up, including that, in,
That's a good idea.
including that friend in the cars. Actually, she's in it. So,
Wow.
so yeah, that's
Do you
kind of where it
still
all.
talk? Did you rekindle that friendship?
I'm embarrassed to say that we're not friends anymore. We did stay friends for a few years after college. I cannot guarantee whether our drifting was because of that or because of some other stuff. May have had an effect.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you know what? I don't care. Burn bridges. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Who gives a
get them out
shit?
of here.
Now you mentioned it in passing. Tell me about this insane clown posse you're a part of.
Oh my God. Excuse me. So I actually started clown. I don't know. Are you familiar with like the clown community these days?
I know a little bit about the clown community because I've read up on it, but I'm not into it, if that
So
makes
I
sense.
feel like every clown I've ever talked to, and I'm among them, we're all like, well, I'm not really legit, but like those people are, you know what I mean? So like I'm like, I should not be speaking for the clown community. But I started clowning just a few years ago. Um, it's a cool, really, it's just like a cool tool in the toolbox. It's very different, again, angle on comedy than what I've done before and like
Mhm.
relationship with the audience. I'm learning a ton. I'm loving it. And yeah, I'm part of we suspect we're the largest all-female clown ensemble in Los Angeles.
Okay, yeah.
Who knows how long we'll hold that title for, but there's seven of us. And we have a 1 hour show called The Birth of Disco, which we just did a second run of last weekend. It was really fun.
And I assume this is a pre-written show, and you guys are just are coming out there with it's you have to put some time and care into it because you can't just go out there and do stereotypical clown things, right?
No, yeah, it's definitely not what you think of probably when you think of clown. I have a friend who's always like, it's not like honk honk no, red nose like
No. Yeah,
clown, you know?
I know that much. Yes.
So yeah, the pieces and it's ours in particular, I've gotten questions if it's like for kids, like no, it's definitely for adults.
Mm.
It's not um it's not super linear. I feel like I'm like, oh wait, why am I talking about this show? I should talk about my other show. It's not super linear. It's very abstract. It's very physical. Lots of and then like there are interactive parts with the audience.
Mm.
And to the degree that it's like pre-written, yes, we know kind of where it's going, but it is also like heavily improvised and
Mm.
changes every single time because it's like all about the relationship with the audience and who's there that day. So it can change heavily
Okay.
based
All right. Well, bringing it back together with
on
the vomit show.
You're
Um,
the pro. I shouldn't have said anything.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I've only been doing this for half of my life. So
Oh my
half of my
God.
life. I'm not 26. The fuck was that?
Oh,
Anyway, I
a
yeah, I've been
prodigy.
doing this since I was 13. No,
Amazing.
I'm in my 30s. I've been doing this for a different amount of time. But anyway, so you mentioned how this kid. All right, let's do this. Here we go.
Yeah,
I just had a
let's
brain
do
freeze. Um, Improv. Some people start their comedy journeys wanting to take improv classes. Some people start doing stand up and then they switch over to different parts of the industry or maybe even different parts of comedy.
it.
For you to do this show at the Fringe and then my little phobia, let me say it by its name, and
Hmm.
then to do clowning, which I can only assume maybe came second because you're
Hmm.
working on my little phobia a little bit sooner. Um, how did that show inform the clowning, and has clowning informed how you perform on stage by yourself as a storyteller for My Little Phobia?
Ooh, yes, great question. So yeah, actually, I took my first clown class, I think, right in the like final rehearsal process for my little phobia.
Mhm.
So it wasn't something conscious. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna make this a clown show. In fact, I wouldn't describe my little phobia as a pure clown show. In fact, or even at all. Again, that's where I'm like second guessing. There's so much imposter syndrome in all of this. I'm like, well, I guess it's kind of a clown show. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not a clown show. Um, but it has definitely, clowning has definitely informed because it really is so much about the relationship to the audience. And maybe by some kind of kismet, the show is about my relationship to the audience
Mm.
because literally being in a room with other people is feels dangerous to me because anybody could throw up at any time. And I know how
Yeah.
ridiculous that sounds for somebody who isn't terrified of vomiting, um, but that is truly scary for me. And that's kind of a paradox as somebody who loves performing and like loves being on stage, and nothing will stop me from doing it. I am also facing this fear anytime I go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yes, clowning, which is all about the relationship with the audience, has definitely informed that. There are a lot of parts of the show where I'm directly relating to the audience and addressing them as people in the room with me right there.
Mm.
Um, there's also a lot of physical comedy in it, which clowning has really informed. Um, and yeah, I think I said, like, I sort of looked at adding clown as like a tool in my toolbox, but it has definitely transformed a lot of the way that I perform these days.
Are you, when you're doing My Little Phobia, is it with the physical action? I can only assume that you're wearing an earpiece and with a microphone to it. Okay, that's good.
I'm
And
like, I probably should, but I don't.
oh, you're holding a mic?
No mic.
No. Oh,
No,
so it's just you're
it's a theater
presenting, projecting
piece.
your voice.
Yeah, I mean, you could really look at it as like a theater piece if you
Ah.
were, I mean, like, again, not far be it from me to be like, I wrote a play, but like that's kind of how it's presented.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if people on Broadway can project their voice, then you can also do the same.
Yeah, I guess this sort of is like a weird biographical fact about me, but does matter here, which is that I actually started my life as an opera singer.
What?
Um,
I thought you were gonna
and
say like someone who does plays of musicals, like, oh yeah, okay, we can talk about
no,
that. The
even
fuck is going
more
on?
unusual.
Wow, opera.
Yeah. Yeah. And so so yeah, projecting is something that I've been heavily trained in. But and it's funny that you say about like people will start with stand up and then move to improv or vice versa. And I started improv classes because a friend was like, I think you would really like this. And at the
Mhm.
time, I was like still heavily focused on performing as an opera singer. Um, and I remember being like, well, I'll do it, but only in service of my music. You know what I mean? And then it
Yeah.
actually became like my true love. And I sort of walked away from singing as much. And I still do, but just like kind of for fun. And now comedy is much more my speed and what I want to be doing with my life. So
That's really cool. You must have a very powerful voice. I dated somebody who was near the Broadway world, and she even went to college for stuff like that. And
mhm.
she still has like toes in there with like friends and everything, but she does not
Yeah.
perform. But she does sing, as you said, all the time, and so she still
Mhm.
has kind of that muscle memory. Is that like when you were singing? Do you still have the ability to push a voice out like that, nice and loud in a singing dramatic tone? I've never seen an
Yeah.
opera, but I can only assume.
Not mandatory.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's fun. I love it. It's definitely an acquired taste for some people, but I would
Mhm.
recommend trying it. You never know. I can still sing opera. In fact, I would say like don't invite me to karaoke because I sound horrible when I try to sing non-opera music. It's like super embarrassing.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I can still sing. I love it. It's kind of like I guess athletic in a way because you're using your body, and to your point, like there's that muscle memory. So if I were to just like start singing right now, I would be a little rusty, but like if I put some hours into it, I could get back in shape over time. So yeah,
Mm.
it kind of stays with you.
What operas do you like to listen to, or did you like to listen to, or like that you look up to, aspire to? I like
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess is Les Mis an opera?
It's a musical.
Okay, it's a
So
musical. Okay.
definitely that distinction only matters to those of us who are like knee deep in it, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess the difference, like generally the difference is musicals have talking and opera is fully sung the whole way through
Okay.
99 times out of 100. I think there's always exceptions to those
Mm.
rules. But yeah, I think I'm kind of a cheese ball and I just like the like this is maybe only relevant to your opera loving audience, but I like the like just really, really classic. I'm not gonna drop some cool name that like no one's ever heard of. Like I
Uh-huh.
like the Mozart operas. I like the Marriage of Figaro. The Magic Flute is beautiful. My favorite opera is called La Traviata, which
I know that
is
one by name, yeah.
yeah, exactly, by Verdi. And it has probably has music that you've heard before in like a commercial or what have you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, those are the ones that I go to, and some. Well, I'm like about to go down a whole rabbit hole, but yeah, there are
Pavarotti is a opera singer,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
exactly.
I've seen maybe collectively several minutes worth of opera on thanks to PBS, because
Yes.
they have the Great Performances series and
Hmm.
they'll do plays and musicals and then they'll
Yeah,
have operas. And I think it's very interesting to watch people sing from their gut
yeah.
and really just make things vibrate. This morning I was in the shower, I was listening to a song and the speaker just it just hit so deep. I think it was The Weekend, but the speaker hit so deep and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like I that's how I want to
Yeah,
feel." And when I think of opera, like someone singing just like evokes that kind of like physical manifestation of a feeling inside
yeah,
the chest.
yeah. It can be extremely evocative to your point. Like I think it's music, and again, this is as someone who's like now poured my life into not music, but like music can resonate literally in ways that spoken word can't. When they're both valuable, but it's like a different wavelength, I think,
Mhm.
that it sometimes.
Does My Little Phobia have any musical elements in it?
No. That in memoriam. I mean, there are musical elements. Actually, I'm what's the word? Exaggerating. In Memoriam has some music that is pretty familiar as an in memoriam piece, but is also something that I used to sing
Mhm.
back in my day. It's a Mozart piece. Um, and then actually my husband did a lot of the sound design, and there's a lot of music in some of the like recorded parts of the show that
Wow.
he wrote and played. And so um, I think it's really good. I think he did an amazing job, and it definitely like elevates the show.
That's really cool. Going into doing this show, maybe possibly for the last time, who knows, in a couple of weeks. Um,
Yeah.
what you and having elements like that, this extra sound and a director and other people who are chiming in on your
Hmm.
product.
Hmm.
How is that coming together? Obviously, since you've been doing this for a couple of years, it's been happening like that for a little bit, but now it's all having there's a culmination of it. So
Yeah.
what is that like? Collaborating on this singular idea that you had and seeing it kind of expand into a bigger product.
That's such a good question. How do I answer that? I think that for me, collaboration is key for me to finish anything. And I knew that going in. This is the first solo piece I've written. I've been on sketch teams. I've like worked with others for writing before. Um, and there's something to be said for like having someone to bounce ideas off of and generate with. And so being by myself in this, I knew I was going to have to call in um, help, from the
Yeah.
outside. So that was an intentional way that I structured working on the show. I had a few really good friends whose opinions I trust, like listen to early versions of it, help me kind of, you know, like break the story, figure out like what it was going to look like, that kind of a thing. And then I've been in really close collaboration with my director, Julie Pearson, for
Okay.
now a couple of years. So every time I have a new run of the show, like we get together, we iterate on it. I just last week, like slightly rewrote the ending because it's still not, it's, I shouldn't say it wasn't saying what I wanted it to, but it wasn't like flowing in the way that I felt I wanted it to as the writer performer. If I were the writer and not the performer of this piece, I would be a nightmare. Um, Vice versa. If I were the performer and not the writer, I would be giving that writer a nightmare too. I might be a nightmare anyway. And then, yeah, like I think there's obviously such beauty in being able to tell my own story in a very, I mean, in an almost like focused to a fault way, to the point where like after my run of 25 shows in Edinburgh, I wanted to scream like, hey, I have other parts of my personality beyond this. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I'm not just this phobia. Um, but also like how beautiful it's been to work with other people. I'll take the example of my husband again, who's extremely talented in his own right. Kyle Moss is his name, and he brought parts of the piece to life in ways that I hadn't even imagined by working on the sound. You know what I mean? So I guess like the learning there is like I personally can't work alone. It's got to be in collaboration.
Were you there sitting next to him as he was making the music and the sounds that you needed, or did you just say, "Here are the elements I need," and then he sent you or played for you the files?
A little bit of both. There's a lot of, I think like a lot of solo shows, there's some voiceover just in order to like keep the story moving. I can't be the only one talking the whole time. In fact, well, I am the only one talking the whole time, but it's recorded.
Yeah.
Some of it's recorded. Um, um, so we worked together on the voiceover, and then like I helped select what I wanted to be, like which takes I wanted and stuff. And then I left him to his own devices, and he's made some really beautiful pieces. Another part of the show that is one of my absolute favorites is a guided meditation that I do that gets really fucked up and will make you much more anxious than you were when you started it. Um, and part of that is like, yeah, I wrote it that way, but he like made the music
Mhm.
that goes along with it like work for it, you know? And when he brought that back to me, like I had no notes. It was exactly what I wanted it to sound like. So,
Well,
or I mean, I envisioned it. Yeah.
I have no, I don't want to, don't give me exact numbers. Did you pay him at all, or was this like out of the love of his heart?
I that's a really good point. I mean, I
I-
guess like we're married, so we share finances. So I've gotten him a few thank you gifts, that's for sure. I got him some of his favorite stuff as a thank you, and it wasn't his birthday and it wasn't the holidays. Like, I
Oh
probably
God.
owe more, yeah.
That I just thought that'd be very funny. We're like, no, he no, I didn't pay him. We're like, yeah, I paid him minimum, SAG minimum,
Yeah.
or producers minimum.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
that's fantastic. I'm so excited. You know, hearing how you did this show at the Fringe Festival, or knowing that, and then 20 some odd shows. It has to be, and you wanting to show that you have a different side of yourself, but it has to be so ingrained inside of you that you might be sick of it, of hearing these same old stories, these same notes and everything. But then there's also, you might have like a gratifying feeling once you finish it. And it's out for the world because is this going to be recorded or are you putting it out somehow?
This particular performance, I'm not planning on recording. I think I
Okay.
may. I keep being like, this is my last time doing it. But then like I'm also talking to a few theaters in LA about maybe doing one true last one
Ooh, I like that.
before I put it to bed. Um, yeah, it's been a really interesting journey. I mean, to your point, there are times when I look at it and I'm like, ugh, like I don't want to do this anymore. I think that's the nature of doing something this many times. Me personally, this is the first time I've repeated the same performance this many times. But on the other hand, like I really love it and I'm really proud of it and I enjoy doing it despite it being, to your point, like there are jokes in there and there are jokes that I love and like will be sad not to do again. And something that I've been really resistant to, I don't know why, this is probably worth another therapy session, but like people have asked, like, has it changed, has it changed my relationship to emetophobia? And I think I'm ready to come out and say, like, yes, it has. I think that especially in doing it in Edinburgh so many times, like I said, I did come out of it saying like, wow, I'm kind of sick of talking about this particular subject. I have other parts of me that are important to me. Um, but then being able to make that distance in the last year or so, I can then look back on it and be like, oh yeah, like I'm actually there are some things that I wrote about in this script that were still with you say with OCD, like rituals or like ruminations that I would have all the time that actually like I have grown away from
Mm.
in the time since starting to perform this. So I sort of hate the like solo show as therapy thing. I
Yeah.
really, really, really made it a goal not to make this show like a therapy session for people. I don't think that's something that I would want to watch as an audience member.
Hmm.
So it's like a fun romp through my weird brain, I guess is how I would describe it. A fun romp through my super fucked up brain. Um, um, and yet it has in some ways like had like a therapeutic result for me.
Speaking of your of therapy, did you? I'm sure your therapist is probably like, "Thank God I don't have to hear about this anymore." Did you invite your therapist to a show, or are you still seeing that the same therapist? Uh,
Yeah. Ooh, good question. I love talking about this. So I do have a like, oh my God, I also like, is this so LA? I have two therapists.
that's so LA, I gotta tell you.
So I have my regular therapist who like we just chit chat every week and I come in
Uh,
and cry and then I feel better. Like that's sort of like typical therapy, I guess.
yeah,
But for OCD/phobias, there's a special kind of therapy called exposure and response prevention
yeah.
therapy. So exposure therapy, which is a lot of that shows up in my show as a subject matter. And that's actually like scientifically proven to work over a short period of time.
Hmm.
So I spent a year going to therapy once a week specifically to do exposures with my second therapist.
Okay.
And they were trained specifically in this type of therapy. Um, and once that's done, like you move on from it. So it's not like ongoing forever and ever.
Oh,
Um, and I did that in 2018, I
okay.
think. And it totally got me to a new level of like ability to walk around the world and be like more fearless. And then after the pandemic, I was like, I think I need it again. Like I
Hmm.
needed to like brush up some stuff. So I went back for like 6 months to kind of get a little refresher on some things.
Brush up, refresher. I don't know if that's the terminology that the therapist would love for you to use. Like,
um, you mean like what is it like? What's
yeah.
exposure
Oh,
therapy like?
brush up. Let me just brush up on what's going on in this there in the therapy that I have to use. I was being silly.
That's funny.
Um, well, Emily, this has been wonderful. You are a very fun person, and I hope this show goes well. I hope it's not the last time you perform it because I think, for something that is so it's my little phobia. Like it's something that's so unique and so small, but I think a lot of people would benefit from seeing it or even hearing about it because I didn't even know until I clicked on the email to see the press release for this. So I'm excited for you. I'm happy for you, and I really hope it goes well because you are charming. You're a delight, and you deserve it. You deserve the success.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. That's this maybe the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me.
You're welcome. Don't say I never did anything good for you. It was this
I
interview
would
and those
never.
compliments.
I wouldn't have before, but especially not now. Thank you so much. It's been really fun talking to you and I appreciate yeah, I
Uh,
really appreciate the time.
of course, yeah. All right, you have a good rest of your day.
You too. See you
Bye.
later.